Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chris Walklett, and for those of you that do, hi. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're surviving the nonsense as best you can. So I've made a couple of videos to showcase teaching tracks and top 10 because the top 10 book was released just a few days before lockdown. So like many products and projects and businesses, I guess, as well, it's all gone a bit, what's the polite way of saying it? It's all gone a bit flat, really. So this is a kind of box fresh, I heard that was a term, box fresh way of introducing the materials through this video. So in this first video, I'd like to overview what Teaching Tracks is all about, including the principles behind it. And in the second video that follows this, I'd like to go through the units in top 10, and in doing so look at the 10 songs, their themes, and some of the activities therein. So here is the top 10 book. So this is the student book. It's pretty chunky. It's over 200 pages. It's good. It offers good bang for your buck, as I believe probably nobody says anymore. If we look into the book, so we start off with a welcome to students, an explanation of what they can learn from the songs, perhaps things they haven't even considered. It also informs your students which themes they're going to cover. These are the things here. We'll look at this more in the next video. They include things like celebrity culture and its pitfalls, female empowerment, optimism and perseverance, and other such worthy topics. I'm going to show you the next bit by screen share, so that's going to take a bit of effort, but let's see what we've got. Let's see if this comes up. Okay, that looks all good. So next, this is a unit overview of the artists and songs, and also the names of the units. You can see there on the left-hand side. You'll notice actually that the units are all not called after the titles of the songs, but they're all entitled according to the themes within the songs. After that, there's a guide to the thematic and lexical areas that are covered in the book, relating to the units that you just saw. And then there's also the grammar areas that are covered, and the reading text. These reading texts have been written especially for the materials. You'll see there's either one or two of those there. So at the back of the book, you'll notice also that there's an appendix, which is here. And in this appendix, there are 11 language areas covered in considerable explanatory detail. For example, there are areas of grammar that come up. So you've got direct and indirect speech. You've got ing forms also here. You've got the old chestnut of present perfect versus past simple, which begins as Appendix 9. And then you've also got second and third conditionals in there as well. And also there are other language areas, what I've called cautious language, which you might know as hedging or speculative language. That's also included, as is what I've called the language of advice. And something I'm really proud of is the phonetic chart that's unique to Teaching Tracks. And here's the phonetic chart. So both Carol Samuel and myself worked hard on this. This is how it works. You know, you've got the 44 phonetic sounds that make up the UK phonetic sound system. Here with an example word. And all the words, or to be honest, most of the words, where possible, had some connection to the fields of music, songs and lyrics. So you'll notice if you look down there at the vowels, if you notice the diphthongs, actually, you'll notice, for example, we have the word sound as illustrative of the sound ow. Or if you look down at the vowels on the orange column there, the long vowels, you've got oo as in groove. Or you've got in the consonants, you've got the down at the bottom of the page there, as in the word song. So that sound. You've also got j as in jam, g as in guitar, and I think you get the general impression of that. So far we've just been looking at the student's book, but of course there's also a teacher's book too. So here's the teacher's book. And firstly, you might sort of ask, why is there a need for a teacher's book at all? You know, if you know the songs, if you spent time looking at the materials, etc., why would you need that? Well, I think the teaching tracks is meant for all teachers, from novice teachers in using this resource, that is, to much more experienced teachers. So it covers all the bases, and I think that also the experienced teachers will learn a trick or two here, and they'll find things that they hadn't considered. So in the teacher's book, on page, one of the first pages, we find an explanation of the background of why this book was written, really, and what it's all about, what it hopes to achieve, etc. And then next we've got the 7 steps, and I'll get these up on the share screen. So these are the 7 steps to success with using of teaching tracks. And if we just look at step 1 there, step 1 advises that you should breathe, relax, clear your mind of your preconceptions. You're about to embark on a journey into the possibilities offered by using songs and song lyrics. And these are the key steps that we believe that teachers should use if they want to ready themselves to make the most of what songs and song lyrics have to offer. So this advice continues through the other steps for successful use of this resource. So the next section of back to the teacher's book again, the next section sort of looks more specifically at what's behind the thinking behind top 10. So really what this deals with is why these songs were chosen, how the activities were arrived at, the importance of reading to students nowadays. Teaching Tracks believes that students don't do enough reading and should do more, and that the reading is more than just the lyrics, even though you can get a lot from reading the lyrics. Thematic reading based around the topics is important too. The next page of these are FAQs, frequently asked questions. So there's a whole bunch of questions outlined there, which include things like what level the different units are at, the suitability of the material depending on the student's age, and that might depend on controversial elements or not in the materials. How long it might take the material as a teacher to get through the material, students to get through. Also, what skills are practiced, and that, by the way, the answer to that, by the way, is all of them. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening are practiced in every unit, and there's at least one activity that focuses on other skills like vocabulary, grammar, phonetics, pronunciation, and there's also some multi-skill activities and fun activities as well. So there are also details there about the additional reading texts as well. And as I said, I think already, you know, each unit has 1 or 2 linked reading texts linked to the themes that are within the units. Then we have a very useful page which has all the links to all the song lyrics and the songs and videos that are used in each unit. That is actually in addition to the QR codes. Obviously, you should be familiar with what QR codes are, but there are obviously those codes there that are used, and these are really important in teaching tracks because it enables the teacher and the student to quickly access either the lyrics or the song or the video. So they're very convenient, and you know, I think the inclusion of the QR code to the material is very important. The importance really can't be underemphasized, I think. And this QR code, it means that teaching tracks doesn't violate or in fact need to violate any intellectual property rights out there for the songs. So lastly, in a teacher's book, before the actual materials, the materials we're not doing in the session, is a list of the themes that are covered that we talked about already. And these themes and why they're covered, this is what the section's about really. So these are a lot of the topics, but not all of them in this book, but a lot of them are real issues, are social issues, some social justice issues, and there's a few, you know, issues that, you know, so-called controversial issues. The kinds of issues that it seems that many, if not all, mainstream publications sort of shy away from, or do in such a light way to not be much use, I think, in the classroom. So after this comes the materials themselves, which we'll look at in more detail in the next lecture. So the teacher's book looks like the student's book, slightly different colour, and it also has the appendix that the student's book has. But after the appendix is something I've called the theory. So I felt it was necessary to write a succinct academic essay in order to cover the main theories that are out there on the whys and hows and wherefores, etc., of using this resource. And the reason for this was to let the readers know that there is a theoretical foundation. So let teachers know that there was a theoretical foundation to what I was doing. You do often hear reported that school leaders and line managers often comment on the use of songs in the classroom, sometimes suggesting that it has no pedagogic justification. I think the aim of this essay is to arm the teacher with an explanation if they're in that kind of situation. It's only sort of 6 pages long, but it covers the main theorists with some very succinct quotes on how usable this is and its pedagogic value. Yeah. Also, towards the end of the book, there is a feedback form. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on how the materials went. I strongly feel that from constructing these and using these materials myself, that they're very strong. But as always, it's nice to, I am a very open person, it's nice to hear your thoughts as to any fine tuning that there needs to be in the use of these materials in classrooms, which may be general or specific, I suppose. So there was quite a lot of feedback from these, the books, the samplers initially when they came out, and other materials. And a lot of these quotes are used on the back covers of both. This is the back cover of the students' books. So what did students have to say? Well, there's some quotes there. Learning English via music was a very interesting experience. This was a unique type of English lesson. I enjoyed it a lot. I like English songs, so I enjoyed this very much. It was easy and enjoyable way to learn. I love this way of learning. So this is some of the feedback that I had of some students that tried some of these materials out. I also put this out to quite a few of my colleagues and had lots of really interesting feedback, some of which is here on the other back cover. So some of the feedback from tutors said things like, the students enjoyed and felt motivated by the materials, that the materials there, third one down, were clear and straightforward. A good build up to the listening of the song rather than straight in there. that they said also that the target language was well scaffolded, and that it was perfect for an integrated lesson, easily exploited, and that lots of discussion was generated from what was written within the units. Lots of new vocabulary, very well staged and well planned. So very positive there, I think. So that's it really for this video. Please watch the next video, in which I'm going to focus on top 10, including a look at the songs therein. Probably not going to play any of them because they'll be playing around even more with the technology there. But we're going to be looking at the themes that emerge from the songs, and the materials that are in top 10 that have been produced from these songs and the things therein. So in the meantime, take care. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you very much. Bye bye.